Hello. Hello, 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 hello. My goodness. What a baffling thing to be involved in. How are you? This is madness. Yeah. I hope you can see me. Absolutely no idea what's going on with the stream today. It's still obviously sort of in the learning stages. It's enough to give you a heart attack or a stroke or something. So I'm so sorry this is almost quarter of an hour late. Let me see. Go back and forth between. I hope somebody's still there. Good. I wouldn't blame you if you went off to have a hot cup of cocoa and a read of your book. Anyway, so activity from your stream will be shown here. Okay, so let me have a look. I just want to check a few things while I'm here. Oh, there is one thing I need to do, and I want to record. Start. Yeah, okay, so there you go. So now I'm recording. So hello everyone. Everyone. So I'll just wait to see if any others come in, and if you are there, do let me know. It would be a good thing for me to know that somebody did actually sort of stick around. Let's put that up there. We'll put it up there maybe. Can I make that a wee bit smaller? Yes, okay. Live dashboard. Chat will appear here when your stream goes live. Well, the stream is live as far as I know. So it says the stream settings are, I don't know, stream health is what I'm looking for. Apparently excellent. Okay, so anybody here? So anyway, honest to God, this business, it's weird. If I can put that in, I can't actually do anything with that. Can I move that off to the right to put this in so it's not pause alerts, mute alerts? Yeah, I can stick it in over the top of that. That's good. I'm just rearranging things on the desktop of my computer. So let me just see what's going on. Palette. Right, so what I'm going to paint, I'm going to paint with some titanium white, some cadmium yellow pale hue, and where's my red? Here's some permanent rose. Yep. Cobalt blue. I'm going to stick to my usual McSherry palette, I suppose. Oh, I'm not actually. I'm going to put in some dioxazine purple. See what I make of that. Occasionally, I may use it, I may not use it. Let me see, some burnt sienna, which I find very useful in this circumstance of painting flowers, especially the foliage. Okay, so that will do me. Let me just look upon my phone, because I find it quite, useful to have my phone on. If I go into Gmail and I go to YouTube and it says still live is on, so I'm going to click on that, and that way I should be able to see the actual chat, if there is any chat indeed. Okay, so live chat has come up. Right, so you can't see it, but I've got over there a stand with my flowers on it, and because it's very difficult to operate more than 3 cameras, there isn't a camera on it. So I just have to put a still shot up. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you is paint from this. Okay, so there's my hand. And you can see the flowers there. Let me just see if anyone else has come in. Ah, Barbara, how are you doing? Good to see you. Ivor, good to see you too. I hope other people are here. So let me just... Oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stick this on the chat. It's easier if I do that in live chat. So do actually... Where's the chat? Live chat. Ah, here we go. Now it's refreshed itself. So that's good. I have that chat here. Yeah. Okay. So struggling with the technology. So where am I? Going to go back. Don't need to look at that anymore. So let's go back to my palette again. So I'm going to do a wash with this 1-inch kind of softish brush, and through the course of the painting I'll probably use those brushes there. Okay, so that one is these two are short flat brights, and these two are rounds. Okay, so that's a number 5. And this is looks like that's a number 2 brush. Okay, so quite fine, 2 rounds. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is mix up. Well, in fact, I don't need to mix up a wash, because if I go to my canvas, this is a linen board, and it's kind of already a kind of a nice, I don't know, what would you say, sort of light tan grey. Okay, so I'm going to start with a drawing. So let's get a bit of burnt umber. Let me see something just before I do that canvas. Main canvas, McSherryStudio.com. Boy, palette. I'm going to do this, and you should, by magic, see the palette. Yes, that's it. I know I'm obscuring a little bit of the vase, but I'm sure you'd like to see the palette working. So let's get some burnt sienna and blue. Okay, so I'm going to measure the flowers, and it's kind of, it's almost 3/4 the width of the height, if you see what I mean. So if I want my flowers to come out there, and I want the bottom of the vase to come here, the width would be something like that, which is quite wide, isn't it? So something like that. Okay, I'm going to give myself a center line and make sure it's correct. Okay, slightly to the left, which actually suits me, because I have a tendency to start pushing things off to the right. Okay, so let me start here. So how much of that height does the vase take? Let me measure that. Halfway. Good, I'm a lucky boy. There. So that's telling me that all the flowers come up to there. Yeah, that looks a bit right. So let's start out with the vase. Give myself a rough idea of what, and the point of this this painting. Let me actually just go to the teacher full group. Okay. Yes, sorry, I was just looking at the chats, and there are two things here to say. Emmanuel Power, you're very welcome. Nice to have you in the group. As for the question from Barbara, I got the boards online actually, and I bought 50 of them because I had an event where I was going to have 50 people attending, and they were all to paint. It was kind of like a paint and prosecco business, and in the event, 22 people turned up. So I've got sort of 30, almost 30 of these things left over. So I was at once sort of telling you information about the boards and revealing my lack of arithmetical skills. So yes, Barbara, if you do want to know where I got them, actually they were a good value thing. I got them off Amazon.de, so the German Amazon, because it's very difficult to use the UK one anymore because of the Brexit and all the difficulties with getting stuff from England and paying extra duties and things like that. So yes, no, what I was going to say is that I'm very keen on the Impressionists and the Post-Impressionists, notably Gauguin and Van Gogh. And along my journey, artistic journey, I pick things up, from everybody I meet, really. And one of the things was about every painting having to have a concept. And I think this is what people don't really know when they're sort of starting out. And why would you? But every painting should have a concept. And now I'm not talking about sort of high concepts, like it should reveal the meaning of life or something like that. It should be just that you will say to yourself, okay, for this painting, I'm going to paint only in downward strokes. That's one. Or you can say, everything's going to be in straight lines, or everything's going to be in a graphical form. So, flat colours and, abstract shapes. What else could it be? It could be that you're going to paint a very low chroma painting, a very grey painting, or extremely colourful painting. So, but you start out your painting with that. It doesn't necessarily develop that way. And to say I'm going to paint a hyper-real painting, that's also a concept. But if you're always painting hyper-real paintings, I find that hyper-real paintings sort of lose power the closer to reality they get. So the power that you're reducing is the power of the viewer to add to the painting, so to get something out of it from their end, because you're hammering them over the head with your skills and telling them that this painting is exactly what I'm seeing before me, but you have to leave a painting open to at least a little bit of interpretation. And and I know it's only a still life in this case, but tell a story, but don't hammer people over the head with the story, I suppose, is the thing. It's just a way of thinking, and it's very nice to have the skills to be able to portray something in very realistic ways. But I think ultimately it's great if you can move along in your journey and move away from that a little. You can keep going back to it. I like Mary Swansea, who was if you know of her, she was one of Ireland's sort of foremost painters up until maybe the 1940s or something like that. She was that era, and she picked up a load of styles on her way, but she never abandoned any of them, and I really like that. So she just continued just learning and always using those styles. You can see it in her paintings. It was a big retrospective show of hers in the Irish Museum of Modern Art several years ago, and I went to see her. I didn't know anything about her before then, but I liked her anyway. So let's going back to the painting. All right, so we've got the vase. Yes, Emmanuel, it's very convenient, isn't it? It's just that I had to keep the costs down for this particular escapade that I did. It worked out all very well in the end, and now I've been left with all of these canvases. That's great. So let's put it in a shape, generally speaking, of how the flowers fall. So they come out beyond the side of the vase. Let's put in the meniscus of the water there. So let's bring that down a wee bit as well. flowers here. So if I put a shape there, general shape, it's kind of a almost an inverted S form that I see here. So that comes up there, there. So that good. And then I can see, I'm not sure if you can see, there's a flower poking out behind there, which I find useful. So I want it there. And it comes down there like that. Something like that. That's pretty good there. And the rest of that is foliage that comes out like this. So I'm doing a kind of a graphical shape. It's an abstract shape, but and it comes out beyond that flower there. Okay, and in fact that comes out beyond that flower there. Push it in there. It goes up around that flower there. That's the general gist of that. There's a bit of a gap there, and that comes out there. And I might come down here a little bit. And then a horizon. Maybe something like that across there. There is a shadow being cast. I've got a spotlight on this setup. Okay, so, and there's a gap here, there. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to start filling in my broad strokes shapes. So get a bit of a little bit of solvent. Just checking up on you. Is you can hear me okay? I hope. Just give me a sort of thumbs up or something in the chat. Right. So now I'm going to start out with the dark of the leaves. Okay. So I'm going to make a green out of yellow and blue. A little bit of red, but actually I'm going to use burnt sienna. A bit more blue. To make a general dark, natural looking green. Okay, thank you very much, Barbara. Yeah, that's good. Now, I'm going to fill that there. There, it comes down there. So a great big block of dark. Leave a little bit for a bit of red here, or a bit of orange for the flower heads. There, that's it, good. I'm going to mix up a nice bright orange. Perhaps I should have done this first actually, but never mind. So yellow plus red. Just a general sort of bright orange to begin with. A little bit of solvent in it. Put that in. That there. Across the top. Down here. Up there. Just a great big amorphous abstract shape. And that comes in there as well. Now I'm going to go to the blue glass vase. Okay, so let's make up some blue, a little bit of white into it. Make up the colour that vase, and it's a reddish blue. It's not a bright cobalt blue. It's slightly reddish. So I added some permanent rose into that. Okay, and then I'm going to make a dark, because parts of it are dark and parts of it are dark with that green. So I'm going to grab some of that green over here and mix it into my blue to make a shadow version. So here, here, here. Where else here? We can put that in meniscus there, I suppose. There's a darker blue. Just going to grab some more and add red to it. Down this side here on the shoulder, coming down off the shoulder, I should say. Maybe that's in there too. And the rest of it, at the bottom, seems to be a kind of a reddish blue. Down here. And at the top, difficult. It starts out as the reddish blue, and then it goes green. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow into that there, into that blue, add a bit more white into it, and put that in there. No, that'll do. That'll do for the moment. Of course, make adjustments later. There is a reflection, an orange reflection just here. So I'm putting that in. Right, what's next? What's next is the foreground. Okay, so remember I was telling you about concepts. I'm not going to stick to what's in front of me, okay? I've got my own ideas about what I want to do here. So what I'm going to actually do is, it's going to be a grey. I mean, it is a grey. That kind of manila colour is really just a type of grey. So I'm going to grab some white. And you make greys out of the three colours plus white. The three, what do you call the primary colours plus white. And I'm going to start out, maybe make it a bluish grey. And it won't end up like that, you see. So I'm just putting down strokes that are putting down the colour, which is going to be changed later on. So that purple will do. Now I do need a dark, so I'm going to grab some blue, more red, more yellow, more blue. Okay. And I'll put the shadow area in first. Okay, so up there. And it kind of goes across there, because the spotlight that I have is off to the upper left-hand corner as we're looking at the painting. And then I'm going to go for my kind of purplish, violet-y kind of grey. I'm not going to complete, it's not going to be a complete sort of block here. Okay. Because the intention is to make something that you can live with, that you'd be happy with, I think. Something beautiful. Now, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? But something beautiful, and perhaps that you're telling a story. And when you're talking about flowers, and we're coming into summer, maybe you want to capture some of that sort of heat and joy of summer flowers in a vase. Okay, so we've got that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is the background. And I am not going to go for that blue background, you see, because we were discussing this in class as well, that the painting, the heat and the beauty of the object that you're painting doesn't have to be just the thing that that the colours and the heat are inherent in. So in other words, you can sort of make the whole thing a very warm painting if you want, if that's the story that you want to tell. For example, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mix up a kind of an orangey colour, a light orangey colour. Make sure I make enough. Oh, sorry, yeah, that's it. I'm just going to put a little bit of solvent into it, just so that to lengthen the paint a little bit. Okay, hello project. How are you? You're looking well. So I'm going to put this, and you notice I haven't been exactly accurate with the the leaves. And really, it's because the leaves aren't, it's not a painting of leaves. The foliage can be dealt with summarily. You can sort of, you don't have to concentrate on the leaves, because the leaves, it's not a painting about leaves, it's a painting about flowers. And the leaves are only in a supporting role. Okay, so I'm establishing, in fact, the concept of this painting. And I didn't make enough paint, did I? Silly me. Naughty boy. Smacky wristies. I keep telling everyone to make up enough paint in the classes, and then I don't do it myself. There we go. Up there, up there. I always enjoy telling people that Van Gogh, Vincent van Gogh, the man himself, taught at my school. Not that I was there, I have to say, but he lived in Isleworth, with this West London, for a while, and he taught really at a school that eventually became my school, I suppose. So it's kind of, there's a ring of truth in it, there's a bit of truth in it. And obviously I wasn't there. How dare you? Right, so now I've got an orange in there. My ultimate aim is not to have it so that it's orange. I'm moving this light away. There's a bit of a glare on that, isn't there? Let's have a look. Let me see if I can just change the light a bit. It's this one. Tell me if it helps. I think that's as good as it's going to get, isn't it? There. That better? Okay. Now it's a bit dim in front of me. But anyway, never mind. So I've got my block here, and I've got my flowers. I've established what I'm going to... Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes, I'm just reading your comment, Emmanuel. Yeah, it's going to change. So I've put that mix on reasonably thin. So how would you say? I put on a lean mix of yellow because it's going to change, but it's not going to change radically. And as I was saying, that the choice of the yellow is more or less to explode that heat and sunshine out into the entire painting, and not just reserve it within the flowers. It's not that kind of painting. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. And also, every painting you do doesn't have to be, the work which defines you. And I've kind of encountered this more and more. It's that every painting you do has got to be a subject of play. You've got to mess around. You can't keep doing the same things all the time. You've got to experiment and change up your approach. I could be accused of doing things that are too similar too often. And anyway, that's it. So I mean, it's not beginner work, I suppose. It's we're going along on a journey and experimentation. So there's darker parts here, which will actually help define the flower heads away from the yellow that surrounds it. So I'm putting in dark, defining areas. They are actually there. So, and that's quite dark there, and I can see dark ones here. Up there, push that out a bit. Push those ones out a bit. And here's another thing that my former teacher, Van Gogh, no, I shouldn't say things like that. what he did, if you look at some of his paintings, you read up about them, and you have the sunflower paintings, he would balance out his paintings while he was painting. So he would add flower heads if he thought that the painting was unbalanced, too weighty on one side or something. Let me see. You've said something and I can't actually... Oh, that's why doing a series is difficult for me, says Project Village. Doing a series. Could you explain a bit further? So here is darkish red. I might push that up a little bit, push that over to there. And I think, for balance, that I might have a flower head peeping around the back there. Okay. So I've established that a bit more now. I'm going to work on the leaves a bit. I'm going to put in some darks. So more blue. And my paint is starting to get fatter now, so less solvent or medium in it. So blue plus burnt sienna plus a bit more yellow there. Because I've got some really quite dark darks in here. And the darks will help to define and show off the flower heads more. There we go, up there like that, maybe across there. That's all quite dark in there. As I say, it's not supposed to be a painting about leaves, so I can put that across there. Puts that across there, in there. And we've got a nice leaf, and the underside of it is kind of red, really. You see it there? That one's coming off there. I can start sort of shaping my leaves a bit more. Let's make some more. Make a different sort of hue to some of the leaves are like that. It's kind of a more khaki kind of grey. Across here, there. Where else do I see that? Maybe there. Maybe there. As I say, I don't want to be painting about leaves, so I'm not going to do too much more there. And now I'm going to move on again, because this is an alla prima painting. You're trying to bring the whole thing forward in one go, or as close to one go as you can. So that foreground is being reflected up the side of the vase. So I'm just going to put that purple there. There's a redder blue, kind of a dark purple here. And in fact, I've got some dioxazine purple here, so I'm going to put some dioxazine purple on, put a bit of red into it, because that's a nice bright colour there. And there, around here, on the shoulders, on the shoulder here, there. And a lighter green blue on the shoulders too. So let's get that, get a bit of yellow in there. Here. Defining those reflections here. And that actually is a leaf inside the glass there. Now I have missed a leaf here, which could fill in that place quite nicely there. That's good. I'll bring it out just beyond the glass. That'll do. That's good. So back to my foreground. As I said, I didn't want that to be purple. So what I want to do, just going looking at the chat project, doing the same themes. Yeah, Yeah, I often wonder. See, I've done. This is my fourth painting of flowers in a jar, in a vase this week. So, and it's a good thing because the first one sort of set me up for the next one, which set me up for the following one, if you see what I mean. So, in fact, doing a series is quite good. And in fact, I met an artist one time in an artist retreat. His name was Gwyn something. He was a Welsh guy, and he didn't have anything with him apart from some watercolors and a stack of little kind of 4-inch by 6-inch cards. And he spent his whole first day just painting colour onto the cards, just one single colour on each card, and then putting it to the side. And he said by doing that, it's a simple task. It sort of kind of made his brain sort of work in a way which he decided through doing that what he was going to spend his time in this artist retreat doing. I thought it was really an interesting idea. And sure enough, I mean, Julia Cameron, who wrote the Artist's Way books, she says that. She suggests doing some repetitive tasks to come up with ideas and creativity. So I'm just putting in some strokes down here which don't necessarily relate to what is in front of me, but I find it quite pleasing to do this. I'm messing around and I'm going to see how it turns out. And then I'm going to add in some some warm greys. I've got the cool greys in there. So let's make up some warm greys, which would be putting red and yellow into the grey mix, along with a bit of blue. Okay, which brings it more towards what is actually there, but I think it makes it much more interesting because it's a dull foreground. It's just a manila bit of medium particle board, which I picked up in my garage just to sit the flowers on. So let's put that on there like that. Okay, so that's good. Let's move on. So now I put that orange down over the leaves. I'm just going to sort of make a bit more of put a bit more yellow onto my palette. I'm feeling my way forward in the painting. Just going to do a bit more, just to define the leaves a bit more. Start sculpting them. Because oil painting is more about sort of modelling and sculpture than it is painting up to lines, for example. Here, I can come down, sculpt that. Close that up a little bit. There. Come down there like that. Push that down. Awkward sort of set of leaves there. So that's all there. So I can move that up. Up there like that. And I can start sculpting the flower heads in a little bit as well. I'll do more of that later. Let's sculpt that. And here's how you make sort of petal shapes. You never paint petals. You whittle like that. Push the paint in a little bit. Okay. Back to the roses. center of those roses is much more orange. Okay, so make up a brighter, more orange colour. Put that in there. It's just a block. And here. And here. Okay, just where I see them. Okay, there are some paler, cooler areas, so I'm going to add some white to that yellow, and then a little bit of blue into it as well. Into that yellow. For example, here. There. In there. Where else do I see them? Not very much elsewhere, but okay, there's some pinky areas. So make a pink, red and white, and add a little bit of yellow into it. Because it's not a cool pink, is it? Okay, well, let's see. Around the back of this one, for example. Pink. And roses have a pattern. They grow sort of, I don't know, I suppose it must be according to the Fibonacci numbers, isn't it? It's like many natural things. Like nautilus shells and things. They seem to grow in the same way, so put that one there. And you're only kind of hinting at all of this stuff. You don't have to sort of start painting the exact flower in the most exact way. You just have to sort of suggest what's going on. Hey Miles, how are you doing? Good to see you. Okay, so there, I've got some in here as well. They're pinks there. Okay, and across out the back there's a pink in there. Now I need to push up that flower head at the back there. It needs it. It needs it for the weight. Push that one up using a dark red. Okay, and there's a really dark red in certain places. Let me grab that. Especially here, for example. I'm not sure, you probably can't see such a subtle sort of difference in colour on a computer screen, but some of these darks are really dark, and putting them in there. Okay, now there's a leaf sticking up there which I actually don't want to put in, sticking up at the top of this one here. Not sure, I just don't want it there. So now I'm going to sort of move on to the background again. And I'm going to start changing the background to what I initially wanted, which was a light kind of chartreuse sort of green, kind of a greeny, the green of spring, the leaves in spring. But not completely. I want to put it in sort of dabs. There. one of my students did a green background like this to her painting, and I thought it was absolutely lovely. But I thought to myself, when I do it, I'm going to have an orange behind it. So rather than just a plain lime green background. And up here too. Now I do need to sculpt that a little bit. I think I'm going to sculpt that down there. When I get that in, I can move on. Okay, back to the vase. There are stems inside that vase. They're dark, and I'm going to have them coming down there like that. In there, there's dark here, dark coming down there like that. And then, what's this here? That's the meniscus. Okay, so I need to push that around there like that. And then there's a dark ring running around the meniscus here. Put that in there like that. There's a light on that left-hand shoulder of the vase. In fact, it's a light sort of reddish blue. It's kind of almost a purpley colour. And I'm going to put that in there. And it occurs up here too, but in a different shape. But it defines something that's actually sort of in that. Oh, that's that leaf that's inside. Okay, there. That is lighter there. Coming down, that'll do. Now there are some, you can see some lighter green stalks inside too, and I'm just going to note those two there. That can go in there, around there like that, and it comes up there too in places. It's been refracted all around the place, isn't it? So the light's being sort of shunted everywhere. Okay. There is a light here too. Must get that in. It's nice. There. Now to move on to the foreground again. So I'm going to warm it up again to a kind of a pinky grey. Oh, that's nicer. Yeah, that's good. Let me see. What I find that once you get to this stage where you're kind of happy with the shape of your painting, and you're only dealing with the I suppose the imagination really, it gets to that stage which I think people are often looking for, which is a kind of a therapeutic stage. Some people do that naturally. They paint their happiness onto boards really naturally, and I don't think I do that. But I'm sort of I'm far more of a sort of serious. I don't know what would you say. I'm not a misery guts, but I know what it is. You shouldn't be self-analysing anyway. Let somebody else do that. That's not an invitation to start analysing me, by the way. Right, some more. I'm going to move on to the flowers again. Remember, it's alla prima, so we're bouncing around, trying to bring the whole thing forward as close as we can to immediately, all at once, alla prima. And putting in little notes where the light's catching. Oh, that's a nice one there. The petals in different ways. Hit that too. There, in there, in there. Maybe there's a pink. Let's go back to that pink again. I could do some of that here. Here, there's a yellow which is sort of slightly cool. Let me put that in and put a bit of blue with it. Is it bluish? Not really. It's kind of greenish actually. So not the way I have it there. Let me have a look. I'm just sort of trying to put a bit of red into it, see what happens. It's a grey. It's more like that. Let's have a look at this, see if this works in here. Okay. There's a red. An extra one down there. Put it in anyway. Now I'm going to sort of make. I listen to myself when I'm editing these videos, and I keep saying sort of. I'm going to sort of do this. Sort of. I should never complain about other people's sort of vocal tics. I've got my own. Yeah, there we go. There. Move that out a little bit. Have another one in there. Another one there. Have that come in there like that. Oh, there's a nice pink I want to get in. Oh, new comment there, Emmanuel. Okay. Well, it's nice to know I'm not boring you to tears anyway. Pink there. I think when you sort of put a lot of random strokes in, there's an artist that I really liked when I was a kid, and I used to follow certain authors in science fiction. I used to love science fiction. I used to collect loads and loads of books of science fiction. I can't pretend that I understood them all, but what drew me to them was the art, and a lot of the art was done by an English illustrator called Chris Foss. And Chris Foss sort of, I read once, said that he put all this detail, because his spaceships, because he used to adorn the front of these books with spaceships and things like that. They were incredibly detailed. They looked as if they would actually fly. They were so well done. And he said that all the detail gave the illusion of function. And I took that to heart. I thought it was a really good method, his observation. And so when you sort of paint a painting, you get lots of different colours in. The fact that you've got so many different colours, often that helps in the illusion of making the thing seem more natural, I suppose. Now, rather than painting a single block and then leaving it, I'm going to sort of put in some dark reds, but not too dark. just to give the illusion of the growth of those petals that wrap around each other. There, back over to that one. Okay, and now I'm going to make a very bright yellow plus white and a tiny touch of red, and put that in some of these really bright where it's really catching that light. The whole thing is an optical illusion anyway, isn't it? So now down back to the leaves, which I don't want to make too much of, but I need to do something with some of them. So let's make up more green, but lighter than I have it there. I just want to sort of describe some tonal variation and hue variation without sort of overdoing it. Put that out there like that. Move that around there. And likewise, like the flower heads, it's the detail giving the illusion of function, I suppose. Again, here we go. So put some there. I'll move that around so that it looks more like a leaf there. Okay. Got some of the, I don't know what they call those leaves that they're there where the bud is. I'll make a bluey colour. Some of these leaves are catching a bluey kind of hue. Okay, that will do. And then there are some darks to put in. So if I can make them really quite dark. Burnt umber and blue. There's a shadow on that one there, which would be nice to have. And you just kind of like some sinewy strokes. And you wind them around a little bit. Giving it kind of a, I don't know what you'd say, a naturalistic function. Yeah? I find it very difficult to talk and paint at the same time. There. And then some really dark. I want to shape that rose part there. Okay. Now, some more fun. I'm going to put in a highlight. And the highlight that I've got seems to be cool. So white plus blue plus a touch of red. And I can see that here. But that's the only highlight that I can see. Okay. Now, I want to do some fun things. and also use red to highlight some other things, maybe the shoulders of that vase. There. And going back to the foreground, let's make a more of a pink. So you can put that into the painting too. Fill in some of those missing areas. So it's a confusion of different hues in the foreground. In a random kind of way. And then back to the background again. So that chartreuse colour, I'm going to make it even more. A lighter version of it. Oops, that was some white showing. Don't want it to be showing too light. I only learned that word chartreuse the other day because my wife was talking about it. I thought it was something completely different, but it's that colour of the new leaves just after coming out of the buds in the spring, according to her. I take it she knows what she's talking about. She is French after all, so. Around. And I'd like to do something also with the shadow being cast by the ensemble, you know, by the vase and the flowers. So what was I going to do? Oh yes, just before I do that, I think this needs a little bit there. Yes, I was going to do that. So another cool colour. On my palette, the white, the yellow, the red, the blue, forget the purple at the moment because that's not all was on there and I didn't really use it anyway. They're all cold. So if you've got a cold shadow, you can use any of them on their own. So let's make up a cool pink. See what that does in there. And maybe a cool green, so blue and yellow and white. And I can see that can also be described over there as well. Grab the red. Come down here. There's a comment just come in from Barbara. Let me have a look. If I can read it. You get bogged down by detail. Yeah, so do I. I have to stop myself. And it's fortunate that I can't keep you here all evening while I'm doing my painting, because I would. Because I'm as bad as anyone else at getting caught up and overdoing things. So let me grab more yellow. Oh, and the other thing is, we were sort of going through in the classes this week, is that don't flatten your strokes. The strokes are what makes painting lovely, and human. The fact that there's a kind of a splodge at the end of the stroke, and people sort of think that they should have to get rid of them, and that's not true. That's why we enjoy Gauguin and Van Gogh so much, and the rest of them. Finish that off there. There, that'll do. That'll do. It's my family motto. Right. Let me see if we turn around. Let's go to... You can see that there. Let me see what it looks like on the screen. It's actually not such a bad representation on the screen. Let me have a look. If I put it on this palette, or the palette camera, is that any better? Not brilliant, and I've just stuck my finger into the white. It's great, isn't it? I'll probably drag that up into the house now and get it on the couch. I'll go on to the teacher thing. Okay. Is anyone awake? I'll put my phone there so I can see any comments. So, look, that's it there. Let me see how close I can go before it just distorts and everything and goes. What I'll do, because I am recording this, is I'll do an edit which takes out some of the sort of superfluous stuff, and by that stage this will have set, and I'll be able to either photograph it or scan it and put it there. So I don't know, what do you think as a way to human powered art? Yes, you need to see the brush strokes. Glory in the brush strokes, glory in the paint. Start using more and more paint. I think once you've got the blocks done, the blocks kind of carry the weight of the painting. So when you've decided what your blocks are, and you've got your shapes set, then just glory in the actual application of the paint, and let it be seen, and let the paint sort of come off the brush, and don't start worrying the paint afterwards, and you'll get paintings which have something, even if you don't think they're great. It kind of looks confident, and viewers respond to that, and you have to leave something for the viewer to for their imagination. Don't do what I used to do, and if somebody sort of came along and be one of my sort of what I call my narrative paintings or something, so they'd say something like, "Oh, that reminds me of the place where I grew up." I say, "No, that's where I grew up." And I'd ruin their dreams, and then they'd walk off disappointed. So I stopped explaining my paintings. You can't do that. You can't do that to people, and you can't do that to yourself. You're just giving people a reason, to walk off. And if they wanted to buy, you've just sort of convinced them not to, I suppose. But that's it. Thank you all for coming along. Do watch out for the edited version, I suppose. The one that goes out live on YouTube can be kind of long-winded, and you saw what it was like at the start. I didn't know what I was doing, but I'll get better as time goes on at the technical thing. So thank you very much for coming. If you have any questions, you can always get in touch by email or whatever. Just email me through the website, McSherryStudio.com. And that's it. I never asked you where you're all sort of coming in from. Where Emmanuel Power? It sounds like one of my cousins from down in Wexford. It's a real Wexford name, Power. Not the Emmanuel bit though. That sounds continental. Yeah, okay. I'll see you next week. I'm hoping to get this conversation with a friend of mine the technical difficulty there is that you're relying on somebody else to know what they're doing as well. So there might be two of us not knowing really what we're doing. But that's the technical issue, and we're going to be talking about her purchase of one of the Scottish colourists' paintings, which is a very interesting story. Okay, have a great week. Oh, Geneva! Oh, my goodness, yeah, wow. I was only in Geneva twice. When I went to Brienz when I was a child with the school. I went to Interlaken and Brienz, and then once when I was in a musical band, an Irish music band. We went to Valais, and we played around Valais in an Irish music festival, which was absolute fun. And then the next year I got married, so that put an end to that. So I couldn't really do that anymore. I did it once; it was enough. Okay, have a lovely week, guys, and keep the faith. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.